They really helped me with recruiting and everything. When I got there, the recruiting coordinator, he made me make a list of all the colleges I was interested in. One lesson's not going to really fix anything. My parents were a huge part. I mean, the time and money they spent, I can't thank them enough. If you want to play college and you have fun playing the game, there should be no problem, because if you love playing the game, you can consistently put the work in and have fun doing it, and then you're going to see your results.
If you have ever wondered how to navigate the complex world of baseball recruitment, you're in the right place. Today we have a special guest who's been through this journey himself. From starting at Delaware Elite Baseball at just 13 to earning a spot as a D1 pitcher at James Madison University. Tim Tyler has walked the path that so many young athletes aspire to. Tim, welcome to this early morning conversation. How do you rather do people call you, Tim or Timmy?
Oh, I don't really care. It's just, if you've known me for longer, a lot of people call me Timmy, because they've just known me since I was younger, but I don't really care.
I know Franny was saying something like your parents rather to like people call you Tim. I like Tim more. I think Tim is more like a little kid kind of thing, but I like Tim.
Yeah, when I was getting recruited, I kind of wanted to be called Tim, be taken more seriously, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You start playing when Delaware Elite and you were like 13?
Yeah.
What was it like to joining Delaware Elite Baseball? How do you use that experience to shape your baseball journey?
I remember joining Delaware Elite. I remember that team was the most fun team I've ever been on. Like, we had so much fun, but we were also so good. I mean, a bunch of my really good friends now are from the Delaware Elite team. It was like a family, but we were also really competitive too. We had really good players, and we pushed each other to be better. So I think just that confidence in myself and my teammates helps, and I think just pushing myself and others is just like what we did there, and it's what I do now, and it really helps.
That's awesome. Let's talk about your high school experience real quick. You came from Carabel, right?
Yeah.
Obviously Carabel is known as for producing top talent. What was the competition like, and how did you prepare yourself to play at the next level coming from Carabel?
Caravel is always known for having one of the hardest schedules in the state. So we played a lot of really good teams, and I remember these past 2 years especially, we had some good hitting. I was a really good hitter, but we were facing like every ace of every team. So we were always prepared for the top arms and everything like that. It didn't matter how bad our record was, or if we lost a really bad game, we always got the ace for some reason, because they knew we weren't bad, but even if we were doing bad.
Yeah. So this is more like a personal question. I played with a couple guys who they were lefties, and I think they were like really good hitters. I obviously watched you play for a little while. I know you have a pretty good swing. Watch you like grow as a hitter, and also like obviously well known as a pitcher too. At what point did you realize that pitching was a better path to follow to play at the next level?
I think it was like just after my sophomore season ended that I realized I was a better pitcher than hitter. I mean, I knew I was still good at hitting. I knew I'd be good for high school. I could even probably go to college for it. But I knew I had a way better shot of going to a better school for pitching. And I knew that my mechanics were good pitching. I knew I could always like keep building and building on it. And eventually I just decided I'm going to be a pitcher.
That's awesome. And like I said, I played with a couple guys that were lefties. And since we were in Little League and high school, they were really good hitters. I don't think their strength was pitching, but all of a sudden they started like, lefties, big guys, and, that bring a lot of attention from coaches and recruiters and
yeah, coaches love lefties.
Yeah. So at what point did you realize that you could play D1 baseball?
I think it was my junior year, like fall to winter, because I knew I took a break after that summer and I started building up my arm slowly, and I had a really big velo jump, and I knew as soon as that happened, I'd get a bunch of coaches talking to me. And as soon as I hit the magic number 90, I kept getting a bunch of coaches. It kind of went from 0 to a lot really quick.
That's awesome. Can you share a bit about like your recruiting experience, and what surprised you, or like what was the most fun experience about like your process?
Yeah. So right after sophomore year, I started doing a bunch of like college camps in the summer. So almost every weekend I'd be going to some college, doing a camp somewhere. That was when I didn't know if I was going to be a pitcher or hitter yet. So I'd be doing like everything, take like BP, throw pens, pitching game, hitting game, do all that, which was fun. But also by the end of the summer, it got really tiring because I was going like every weekend. But yeah, I did that. And then for the next fall and winter before my junior year, that's when I like did the build up, uh, constantly working out in the gym, going to my pitching coach, going to my hitting coach, doing all that, staying consistent. And I think that really helps getting recruited. Like if you want to play college and you have fun playing the game, there should be no problem, because if you love playing the game, you can consistently put the work in and have fun doing it, and then you're going to see your results. So I think playing the sport that I love and getting offered to go to a college for it was just really surreal for me. It'll be really fun. And one thing I want guys to realize, I think they should be posting on X or Twitter as much as they can. That's what I had to do, because that's what college coaches are mostly on for recruiting. But whether I was like throwing a pen, taking BP, just lifting normally, or if I was in game and got a video of me getting a hit or striking someone out, I would post all of that on X or Twitter and just tag your pitching coach or hitting coach, tag your travel coach, and they can always repost it and get it out to people if you want to get looks from there.
That's awesome. I have a couple players doing the same. Some of my older players, that's what they do, and they commit to a couple colleges, and I
Yeah.
noticed that's kind of like the strategy to pretty much
Yeah,
like bring
definitely.
some exposure
Yeah, definitely
and have,
Twitter.
yes, for sure. That's more like a serious platform, I think. I think
Yeah.
I love Instagram. I think like YouTube is kind of good for like videos and stuff like that, but there's not like it's not as friendly for coaches to get there and actually watch like a short clip of like what's your
Yeah.
routine and how serious you are
Mhm.
about to play at the next level. Okay, this is another important question, because like I have a couple kids that I coach that have some problem with their grades, their academics. So how do
Mhm.
you balance your academics with your baseball commitments in a high school level?
So I think at high school, the student should come before the athlete. I think if you're really struggling, obviously you need to focus up and put as much work in as you can academically. And if it's really bad, I think you can, I don't want to say miss a practice, but you might need to talk to your coach and tell them, I'm really struggling in this class, and if you have an F, you can't play. So basically you have to get the grade up. You have to get the grade up so you can play. So I mean, your coach shouldn't really have a problem with you trying to increase your grade to play.
I never played college. I signed with the Royals out of high school, but we kind of have like the same experience when we played in high school. If you don't have a good grades, dude, they'll not want to let you play.
Oh no, they won't.
And I know how important that is to play here. I coached this last year in St. Mark's, and some players were having a problem with their grades, and they missed practices, and they were doing
Mm-hmm.
some extra stuff after they were done with their regular classes.
Yeah.
But personally, that's for me. I think that's the most important thing. Like baseball, you only want to play for so long.
Yeah.
Uh, I played for 13 years, and it went like extremely quick, dude. It was like your dream is to play in the big leagues and stuff like that. But if in that meantime you don't get something out of baseball, that's going to help you out to when you become a father, when you become like you're pretty much like a role model for like these kids that are looking to play at the next level, either playing in college or getting drafted. Which I don't think that should be like your goal to play baseball for. You should be playing baseball because you love it, and obviously, um, you guys are doing like a big investment on time, money. Your parents obviously spend like you more than nobody can tell and talk a little bit about that. How did
Uh,
your parents? How supportive were your parents in helping you to get recruited and help you through the process. What role do your parents play in helping you to get recruited?
My parents were a huge part. I mean, the time and money they spent on me just trying to play for travel to get looked at and for like all my lessons and everything working out. I mean, I can't even imagine like how much they sacrifice for it, and I can't thank them enough. I mean, like we paid for travel ball for the last how many years? We paid for all the hotels that go with it, tournaments. We paid for hitting lessons, pitching lessons, working out. I mean, everything. All those college camps that I did in that one summer was a lot. So I can't really thank them enough. I mean, it was a great sacrifice that they did for me, and I can't thank them enough for it.
I coach myself, and I know how expensive these lessons can be. Like, I think like the standard price right now, I think is like $50 for 30 minutes or something like that, which is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's part of like one of the things that I encourage my players to. Like, it's fine that you're doing your lessons, but if you just expecting that come once a week, twice a week to do your lessons and doing what everyone else is doing with their team, it's gonna take a longer time for you to set yourself apart from each other. So after you were taking your lessons, like after obviously you have a huge experience on like having your private coaches and your pitching coach, hitting coach. What was your process after you were done with your lessons? Did you just like stay with lessons and just hoping that from that lesson you something would have changed, or were you working on the same thing by yourself when nobody was watching? What's the best advice that you can give to a kid who's doing lessons right now and is expecting like, okay, Carlos or whoever my pitching coach or hitting coach is going to help me to get to this level, and I'm just going to wait until I do my next lesson? What would it be the best advice that you can give to a kid who's really serious about playing at the next level, but is just waiting for a single lesson to like be like the magic pill or something?
I mean, I don't think any one lesson is gonna instantly fix your swing or your pitching mechanics or anything. I mean, it takes a long time. Like me pitching, I had one like significant problem that kind of wouldn't go away with my mechanics. I mean, it probably took me years to figure out, but I eventually figured it out. But no, one lesson's not going to really fix anything. I mean, if you like, if your coach points out something huge in one lesson and you keep working on it at home and working on it even when you're not with them, though, I mean, that could be a little different, but still, you're probably going to need to go back to them. It's going to take a long time for you to fix any major problem that could really help.
That's huge, because that's the main problem that I have with especially those players who are gonna be who are gonna be juniors and seniors right now. They still like carrying all those I would say like a habit of like, okay, I'm just gonna go to my lesson, I'm gonna wait for my team practice, I'm gonna play every other weekend and expect that they're gonna get their self ready to play at the next level, and that's not even close of the work that you're supposed to put into to at least have a shot to compete. Because this is the thing, like, even though like working hard, and it doesn't have to be every day obviously, but working hard it doesn't have any guarantees. Like, you can work hard like all off season, that doesn't mean that you're going to have a great season. It's just that has to be there. For me, it was more like, okay, I obviously was getting stronger, faster, and all of this, but like mentally for me was like when I was bringing that confidence to the play that I knew, or to the field to play some defense too, that I knew like work my tail off to be able to compete, and that was like a game changer for my mental game too as well. So for the next question, why did you choose James Madison University over other schools?
So there were a lot of factors. So JMU, it's not all about the money, even though money scholarship is great for athletics. I mean, I did get a decent amount of money. I'm not going to say how much. I got a decent amount of money, but I really liked the coaching staff, thought the facilities were great. The field was super nice. But also looking at the school too, it's not all about the baseball program. I mean, you have to make sure the school and the campus and everything is something you like. Like, I I knew I didn't want to go to a college in the city, so cross off all those schools. James Madison isn't in the city. You got to find your major there. Like if it's good, even if they have it. So they had my major. It's not too far. I didn't want to go too far from home. It's a drivable distance. It's in a good conference. I wanted to compete against really good schools. So yeah, a bunch of little factors that all factor in.
You know what's funny? Like some kids, when I ask them, like, dude, do you have a list of like options of like where to go to college? And the first thing that they tell me is like, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'm like, dude,
You might
I
say that
mean,
when you're younger, but that's not going to be the case.
like,
Like,
yeah.
like for once I was done with Delaware Elite, I went to the Richmond Braves.
Hmm.
They really helped me with recruiting and everything. When I got there, the recruiting coordinator, he made me make a list of all the colleges I was interested in, just to make sure, like, just to double check like if I actually wanted to go there and everything. Once I made that list, he somehow had like every phone number of every coach there. It was crazy.
Wow, that's awesome. Because networking, to be honest with you, I seen that you can get even more results that some guys who are, just hoping to get seen from one of these coaches, but they don't spend a much time or effort to actually put themselves out there and
Mm-hmm.
hang out with like some coaches that one, they're been through that process, and two, they know somebody that can help you to play it and go to that college that you're looking for. So if you have to choose, like, what was the toughest part about transitioning from high school to play to a D1 baseball? Like mentally, what do you think um, are going to be the thing that you have to change, or what you have experienced so far that I probably get away with this when I was in high school. This is not when I worked out in college, because it's the main reason why I'm asking this question is because I see you like working for the last month in the other facility. Dude, it's hot like hell
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah.
And I see you like not complaining at all, coming every day to do your lifting program. You're fully focused on like your thing. You're not like playing around and stuff like that. And I just wanna like have my kids to like adopt that type of commitment, even before they start playing in college. Because if there's one thing that I always tell them, like, dude, if you want to play at the next level, you can be training or treating yourself like a high school player who, you know, play JV, or like didn't even have enough time to playing time to play in varsity. You can't just wait until like your junior year or senior year to start like, oh, now I'm serious about this. It's gonna be like you're missing like a really two important years to start adopting this type of personality, or this type of commitment. So what do you think is the toughest part of like moving or transitioning from high school to, especially to play at a D1 college?
So I think it was tough for me. So earlier this summer, I went to JMU for a month. We all the incoming freshmen took one class just to get like one out of the way. So while we were there taking that class, we also were lifting with the strength coach. The workouts were like nothing like I've ever done. Like very like draining mentally and physically. And our strength coach like pushes you to no end. Like you think like you can't do any more reps and you're somehow like squeezing in like one or two more. It's like it's crazy to me, and the conditioning is more than I've ever done. I mean, it was kind of a wake up call to me. I mean, I transitioned pretty nicely into it. Like I adjusted pretty well, but I mean, it was just a wake up call. It made me realize I didn't prepare like. I mean, I couldn't have possibly known to prepare like I did for college. And my advice to younger guys is take working out seriously now. because in college you are not going to be able to fool around in workouts or practice or anything and get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was 16, I remember when I signed with the Royals, I was 160 pounds, and my coaches were like, "Dude, I don't think you're gonna be able to play a full season. I think we just want to hold you for like your first season to gain weight, because I think you're gonna pass out. Like there's, you take 200, 300 at bats, and you play for 4 or 5 months. We're now including like spring training. We're now including like some of these camps that you do before the season start. I think that's a big part too, that some of these kids are not taking at serious their body, because when you're playing at the next level, dude, you need to gain some weight and build some strength, because I think like the only day that you're gonna feel like 100% without like any sort of like pain or like soreness or like something bothered you is gonna be the first day of the season.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the most important thing that you could like tell to focus to a young player who want to get recruited? Like if you were to go back to the team when you were as a sophomore, as a freshman, what would you done different that do you think can help you out to get through these?
I mean, as much as lifting is great and it's important in getting stronger and just better, I think it might be more important focusing on mechanics, whether you're hitting or pitching. Like knowing how your body works, knowing what's like optimal for the most velo or the fastest swing or anything like that, even if you're not the strongest guy. I think that's really important. Like my pitching coach, I mean, we've been working on my mechanics since we were 13, and they've changed a lot, but that's what helped me the most. Like when I first went to my pitching coach when I was 13, I think I wasn't throwing hard. I was throwing like 60, 67 or something. Within the first couple months that I was there, he changed some things with my mechanics. I jumped like 11 miles an hour or something.
Jeez, that's insane. Now that you're like obviously like in a D1 program and you have some experience that you share with me, what do you think is going to be your biggest challenges that you have faced so far that maybe you were not expecting before taking your first camp or your first experience with D1 baseball?
I know when I was there in the summer, like a month or two ago, the pace was like really fast going everywhere with the lifts and conditioning and everything. And I mean, they told us that's going to be nowhere even close to the pace of practice. So I already know when we get there and we have practice, we're going to be running everywhere like nonstop. We might take a break for like 10 seconds to get a drink in the dugout, but then we're right back out there running everywhere and doing everything. So I think that is going to be really different, but also guys can easily practice that. I mean, you're at travel practice or high school practice or anything, just run everywhere. I mean, just don't be lazy and run everywhere, and you're going to be prepared for college practice if you hopefully get recruited.
That's great. That's a good piece of advice. Now, like looking ahead, what do you think is next for you? Like, how are you like preparing for like the challenges ahead, like both in like baseball and I like to talk a lot about baseball. Like, what's going to be your plan to be able to dominate in college now, obviously, but like in life, your career there, the decision that you took from prepare yourself for life, what do you think is going to be the next step that you're going to take that going to help you out shape the man that you're going to be, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years from now?
Yeah, so obviously baseball wise, I'm going to be working way harder than I ever have, but also academic wise, I'm going to be working harder than I ever have too. I got to focus up doing homework and everything. Got to put my phone in another room if I have to. But yeah, focus up on that a lot. But also what's going to help me later on, just living alone for the next 4 years is going to help me. I mean, be more independent, know how to do more things, just know how to be my own man. That's really going to help.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember like the first year that I went to the Dominican first. I spent like 6 months there when I was 16. Came back home. Then, I bought my own car. I bought my mom a house. Then I remember I was still a kid. So I was like, Mom, can I go out to meet one of my friends and stuff like that? And the first thing that she told me was like, dude, you're spending like all these many months somewhere else. Just let me know like you're safe and stuff like that. And like bringing that attitude and bringing all of that commitment to like also taking care of like your academics, obviously, and the way how like you're gonna be a game changer. Like when you're living by yourself, dude. Like trust me, it's easy to get distracted. Like
Hmm.
there's so many distractions out there, and we don't even have to talk about the distractions, but like nowadays, dude, like it's everything. It's like pulling yourself to like away from the goals that you're looking for and working for all these many years. So it's easy to get distracted if you're like you already said it. Say it like if you need to put your phone like on the side or away to start studying and taking care of your academics. That's gonna be the first step. The next step is gonna be okay. Now that I have the freedom to do whatever the hell I want to do, I'm really committed to like stop going somewhere because this is the thing. When you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to so many other things, and I think that's what it makes the difference from like guys like, oh, my friends are inviting me to go somewhere else, but I should be studying.
Yeah.
I know I should be studying, but you're saying yes to them because you don't want to say no. I mean, not many people like to say no, and I think if there was something that at my age I would like work on it to say more no to all these many situations to stop playing like being the cool guy on the group. I think I would have done it. I think that's a piece of advice that I can give you. Like start like saying more no's than yes, and you'll see like things are I want to take care by itself. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to focus on the thing that you have to focus on.
I think just the main thing is if you want to be recruited, what I haven't mentioned before, find the right travel team. I mean, find a travel team that you're going to play for so you can obviously get looked at. Don't go to some really good team like the Canes or something where you're not playing. It's not going to help you at all. Find a team that you'll play for and find a team that has the connections that you want. I mean, if you know like you're not the greatest, you're probably not going D1. You don't have to play for like one of these national teams. I mean, just play for someone who knows some coaches around the area if you want to stay around the area and just play for them and work your ass off.
Absolutely. I don't think I was that special when I first signed with the Royals. Honestly, I mean, I was good in I guess in my country or like my city, but when I was in high school, I didn't play for the biggest school, but I always went to like represent my country or like my at least my state to start getting some of like exposure for like these scouts. It's a little different when you sign as a free agent. One, you have to be a lot younger. Like when you're 15, 14, coaches or scouts are already like talking to you about like
Mhm.
getting signed and all of that. It's a different mindset because like for example here like I see like okay, I want to play in college. Want to help out my parents. Obviously things are extremely expensive.
Mhm.
Two, because you want to keep playing baseball. You love to play baseball. But I don't think like there's so much pressure like here of like playing at the next level. And I seen so many guys with like a lot of like skills to play at the next level that they just don't work their tail off to actually make something happen just because they're not willing to put in the work down in the Latin countries. Yeah, like when you're a baseball player, you're seen like a provider. Like you need to help out your family. You need to
Mhm.
like help out your friends. And if you're when you're 16 and a half, you're you need to sign. Otherwise, like anything after that, it gets really like it goes like downhill to like get a lot harder for you to sign with a major league organization. What I did was like I didn't train as a professional until I was like 15 or something like that. Obviously the game is way ahead of how it was when I was playing 4 or 5 years ago, and that's something that I seen more than ever. Like kids, younger kids start doing more lessons. Kids like invest more time in like when nobody's watching and stuff like that. But that's a good piece of advice to be in like in a good team where you get the playing time and have the connections to play at the next level.
One last thing. It's just about like the recruiting process if you're not getting looked at. I mean, at one point, as I said, I wasn't getting like any looks. I was getting maybe a few like tiny colleges that I've never even heard of. I started to freak out. I thought I had like no time left. I was running out of time. But all of a sudden, when I hit that special number, I got a lot more colleges looking at me, and it was really, really quick. So I guess I want guys to know that they have a lot more time than they think. Like, you be patient with the process, trust yourself, trust the work that you put in. And I've known people that committed after they graduated. So if you're like a junior and you're like freaking out thinking that you're not going to get recruited, just relax and be patient because you have a lot more time than you think.
That's great. That's great. Obviously, like, thank you. It was like a really insightful type of conversation. Like, I hope like the guy who I'm looking at to like share this short conversation with you are gonna like get like a couple nuggets to absolutely like start taking care of their craft very much. I think that's a most important thing. Like the mindset of like, okay, I can't be thinking like a sophomore, freshman player mentality. I need to like switch it up to the next level, and everything is start from there. Obviously, like thank you so much for your time. I know we were trying to make this or to have this conversation since like the last couple weeks. If there's anything else that I can help or anything, just you have my number. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Say hi to your parents too.
I will.
Talk to you later, brother.
All right. See you.